Hey guys, welcome back to Writing Gems. My name is Hannah Clark, for those of you who don't know, and I am the author of the young adult fantasy adventure called Cabo Goth. It's the first book in a 7-book series, and I am currently working on book 2. What Writing Gems are just kind of my way of sharing little writing secrets with you, especially those of you who are beginning writers. And today what I wanted to talk about is how to avoid writer's block. Now, I personally don't believe in writer's block. I don't think it's a real thing. I mean, I think that, let me backtrack. It's a real thing, I suppose, but it can be eradicated from your writing, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and this is how. So, when I was writing book 1, there were a few things that I learned about myself and my writing habits that really helped when it came to writer's block. The first one was that I always wrote in the same time at the same place. Now, as you know, we are creatures of habit. Our bodies can be trained, our minds can be trained to do things. And what I found is when I sit down and write in the same place at the same time every day, my brain automatically knows I am sitting down to write, and it can go there automatically. It took me a little while to train my brain to do that, but you can train your brain to do that, and being in the same place at the same time really helps in anything you're trying to do, but with writing definitely helps. The second thing is one thing that I learned while I was writing Cabo Goth, but I also heard Dave Wolverton at that conference that I've talked about a couple of times during my Writing Gems talked about as well, and it's you need to know when your creative side of your brain goes to sleep, because it's not at the same time that you and your body go to sleep. That's when your creative side of your brain kind of wakes up and starts dreaming, so for me, my creative side of my brain goes to sleep from about 2 to about 6:30. 2 in the afternoon to 6:30 at night. If I try and write during that time, nothing good happens. I just get really frustrated. And so, pay attention to yourself while you're writing, and find that time when you feel like you're just not able to get through a certain scene, or you're just having trouble being creative. That's probably your time when your creative brain has decided to take its nap. So, and it usually happens the same time every day. That really helps me. Knowing when that time is and deciding to just not write during that time really helps me avoid writer's block. It's a good time to take a nap. It's a good time to read a book. It's a good time to do your chores around the house or spend time with your kids, whatever. The next thing is snacking. When I first started writing Cabo Goth, I was huge into snacking, and not very good snacks, particularly sugary snacks. Now, what sugar does to your brain is not a good thing. It hinders your ability to remember, makes it foggy and fuzzy, makes you sleepy. It also can make you anxious depending on what kind of sugar. Like chocolate particularly makes me very anxious because of the caffeine in it. So avoiding sugary, unhealthy snacks while you're writing is a good way to avoid writer's block, because those things, they affect your brain just as much as any other kind of foods, and usually not in a good way. So since writing book 1, I've changed my habits. When I sit down to eat or to write, I do have a snack still, but it's like I'll have a little bag of almonds and dried fruit, or I'll do cheese sticks, or I'll do just water. Like I'll always have about 3 bottles of water by me when I'm writing, and I always go through all of them in the 3 to 5 hour period of time that I write each day. So pay attention to those kind of things, because they really do make a difference in how your brain is functioning while you're writing. The next thing is exercise. I know these are like no-brainer things, but they really make a huge difference. Make sure that you exercise every day. Make sure you get respiratory exercise or cardiovascular exercises, as well as weight training exercises. Not only does it help you in all of your life, but it gives you more energy. The endorphins help your creativity. Your longevity is is prolonged so that you have much longer life to create and write. There's just so many benefits from exercising, so do it. The next thing is to get enough sleep. Now for me this is a much bigger deal than maybe other people. I'm dyslexic, and when I don't get enough sleep my dyslexia gets really bad. I have a hard time focusing and organizing my thoughts and remembering things. Plus the words of course go all over the page on me. So getting enough sleep, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, I have to get at least 6.5 hours for my brain to function well enough for me to be able to write. Otherwise I'm completely useless. And I can only imagine, I mean, whether you have dyslexia or not, your brain is affected when you're not getting enough sleep. So make sure you pay attention to your sleeping habits, because it really does affect the way that you're able to write and concentrate and put together these plots that are so intricate in a novel. The last thing is routine and simplicity in your life. When I'm writing a book, my life has to be pretty regimented, and it goes back to that sitting down at the same time in the same place to write each day, and making sure that I get my chores done during the time that my creative side has gone to sleep, making sure I'm getting enough sleep during the night, and exercising. I mean, all those things that optimize your creativity. You know, if they happen every day, you kind of have to have a pretty rigid routine to make them happen. And it's been difficult for me to do, because I am a mom, and I have a husband who is in graduate school, plus working full-time, plus, you know, I had a lot of other things going on. And you kind of have to really learn how to balance, but that routine is so important to you being able to create on demand. And avoid writer's block, because otherwise it just gets so overwhelming and so frustrating. So the simpler you can make your life, and the more routine you can make your life, the easier it is to avoid writer's block. The final thing that that was actually given, a tip given to me from that same workshop with Dave Wolverton, was he talked about when you face a problem in your writing, like you know, you do have a moment of writer's block, you're in a problem and you can't seem to figure it out. What he does, and I have found that this actually works, I've tried it a couple of times, it doesn't work every time for me, or maybe it does, it just takes a little bit longer because I'm still trying to get my brain trained to do that. But what he says that he's done, and does a lot, is he'll think about the problem that he has in his writing right before he goes to bed, and then he'll go to sleep. And he says that usually by the time he sits down to write again in the morning, his creative side, while it was awake, while he was dreaming, has worked it out, and he can just sit down and push through it. So, you know, take advantage of those times when it doesn't really seem like you're working, but your brain, your creative brain, really is awake, working things out, and give it the opportunity to work it out. You know, so by reading through or going over that problem in your mind before you go to sleep, you're kind of making it fresh in your mind for your creative brain, and you never know what can happen. So that was just a cool tip that I got at that conference, and I thought I'd share that with you. So anyway, I hope that these tips help in your writer's block moments, and if you have any questions or whatever, just leave me a comment, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks for stopping by.